I'm gonna hit the button over there and I'll just trim off the front. Word. Need that kid to start tomorrow, like yesterday. Alrighty. Let's get it started. Yeah. All right. You're like, no hat? What's the problem? Everything okay? I'll put my phone on airplane mode, dog.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live right here from Matawan, New Jersey, at the Flipping Made Easy Studios. Your hosts, Sturch and Gooch, and there is no Jimmy Palumbo, so maybe we'll actually have a decent sports debate here today. I did talk to a friend late last night, our boy Evan. He says, I don't know about the old guy. He poo-poos everything. I was like, well, yeah, that's Jimmy Palumbo getting involved. But I think it's a good shtick. I do.
No, it's a good debate. I like having Jimmy on here because it brings out the fight in me a little bit. So
when your neck thing goes, I'm just like, he's in. Let's
I got
roll.
A bunch of texts yesterday, and it's like Jimmy's a good element because he brings the dog out in you. And then
on Monday morning,
I even kind of was going at Dave a little bit yesterday.
Right.
I felt teamed up on a little bit.
What? No,
it was because I think that Jimmy, I think that he was making points that he doesn't even really believe himself to stick a thorn in my side a little bit.
Maybe he's the antagonist. Why can I say that?
He's the anti-Gooch.
He's the anti-Gooch. I like that.
What he did was his reaction initially when we brought up the lineage thing was he laughed at your four. He laughed hard and then backtracked completely and was like, no, Favre's not that good. And I'm like, all right, bro. Now you're losing credibility.
Where are we going with this? So anyway, welcome everybody to the show. As of always, it is brought to you by the Flipping Made Easy Studios, flippingmadeeasy.com, to go and check out how to flip a house, because nobody knows how to do that anymore, or I never knew how to do that. So do it. And I think that it's a great business. It's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to make, a way to make money. I personally have learned so much. If you enter the promo code CHOP, you're going to get some risk-free stuff. Just like at BetMGM, you get risk-free. Everything's risk-free nowadays. Like, we'll give you this for this amount of time, risk-free, Gooch. And it's like, oh, you don't have to pay for it, and you'll get it right back. You know, banks are amazing, aren't they?
Oh, don't even get me started, bro.
That's what I said. As I'm looking directly into your soul.
I had a rough evening last night. I was on hold with Chase Bank for 3+
Chase, shout out to Chase. You'll never be a sponsor, that's for sure.
3+ hours. I mean, no, if they want to pay me a lot of money, we can take that. They owe me money right now, which is crazy because I'm used to owing the bank money. But right now, I'm going through it with Chase Bank.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very, very.
I can't believe, like, you 3.5 hours they had you on hold.
Yeah, and then I went home after being on hold for 3.5 hours, getting disconnected, recording MMA. Long Monday, not complaining. It's what I chose.
How good did you feel when, like, you're on that and you're listening to the elevator music, and all of a sudden it was a boop, boop, and you're done.
And I was like about to record MMA. It goes off, and I'm like, bro, now I can't focus. I waited all night to record because I can't focus while I'm trying to clear this up. I just couldn't get my mind. I didn't have the bandwidth to talk MMA. And then when it happened, my soul left my body.
Is that a new word, bandwidth, when it comes to, like, having time to do things?
It's
because I've heard it a million times in the last, like, 2 years, but I never heard it before.
I think what it comes down to is, like, bandwidth is the amount of things that could funnel through something at once. In terms of, like,
I always say internet, right?
Our bandwidth might suck here a little bit sometimes when we
Not
have
for long.
30 people working here.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is, like, you could only process so much information at once. So my bandwidth was full. I couldn't process MMA when I was trying to process the.
Did you get a good show in? Like,
I thought it was a good show.
Okay.
I didn't finish the.
Talk a little Max Holloway.
Talked a little bit of Max Holloway, but I left the studio last night fairly late, and then when I got home, I was in a ball of rage, and then I continued to go on to Dave's Twitter, which was probably a mistake on my part.
It is a black hole.
Because I entered the Thunderdome.
I called it the Thunderdome. It's Cowboys Nation. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to AJ for actually liking all my tweets, because I was sitting there just alone for a while in that thread. Right, and look, man, it fired me up. I got home, I ate the edible. And it took about 2 hours for the edible to kick in. So for 2 hours, I was just fired up, and I was going in, and I'm like, all right, I got to be not so offensive. This is Dave's thread, but I don't know who.
I don't care.
I just don't know who you know. Like I didn't want to.
Oh, you don't want it to be like
I didn't want to be an
writer.
asshole to somebody that was like somebody that you deal with.
Well, all you have
Cowboys
to do,
world.
all you have to do is look at their username and their followers. Like, who was the guy yesterday?
Oh, bro, there was several.
No, but there was one guy that was like, with
he was like
15 numbers past his name.
He kept on writing back to me in like lowercase, uppercase. I'm like, bro, we
like
can't have this conversation
thing?
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Let's not do this. You
rough,
lose
bro.
credibility.
Welcome
I
to the
stopped doing
Thunderdome.
that in 2019.
Cowboys Twitter. What a place. Before we get into that lineage thing, because I definitely want to rediscuss and kind of hash out that thing because it was such a heavily debated thing last night. Right before we started the show, the Angels make a splash. Baseball's starting to heat up now. You heard about the Yankees already getting aggressive and talking to a lot of representatives of like who they're going to be bringing in the winter.
Are talking to Freddie Freeman's reps.
I would love
a little Freddie Freeman in New York.
If that was a thing, that like I don't like getting ahead of myself. But if Freddie Freeman is a Yankee, it's like come on. But the Angels get into no bidding war whatsoever. They just threw the entire load at Noah Syndergaard. Coming off injury, didn't pitch at all last year.
2 starts,
21
2 starts in the last 2 seasons, and he's
$21 million. But isn't the Angels is where people go to die? Like,
is that the new market for pitchers right now?
I freaking hope not.
Because I look at Noah Syndergaard as like a 3rd starter if he's right.
Right.
That's a big if.
Right. You know, it's funny. As I was pulling out of here yesterday, I heard on the Michael Kay show that there's a possibility of the Yankees giving out like a veteran's minimum to a Justin Verlander. I wouldn't hate that.
Veterans minimum, huh? Verlander is going to warrant more than that.
Well, he's pushing 40. I don't know if you knew that, but like he's pushing 40.
But he's still only a season removed from being a real productive pitcher in the postseason.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I think he can be very productive. Let's see. Tommy spending. This is Tommy D. Angels love spending that crazy money. Yeah, dude, that's a lot of dough. Like do-re-mi, man. $21 million. And then, like I said to you, I'm like, well, that's kind of cool because it's him and Ohtani. And both of them are kind of middle of the pack pitchers, like so they're not really stacked.
Ohtani's pitching is good.
How much money are they paying Trout?
It's good, but he's not that frontline starter. You're paying Ohtani because he could do it all. But he's a great hitter. There is holes in his swing, but as far as his pitching goes, he's like a 3rd starter as well, as far as I see him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be an ace of any staff.
MLB picking up. And I know what you're probably thinking, everybody watching right now. Where is Dave's hat? Like, why aren't you have a hoodie on? Like you have like a bomber jacket on. Today's the day, folks. I get to audition for the Somerset Patriots. So I'm excited. 2nd round of auditions. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that'd be pretty cool to announce every time Giancarlo Stanton goes on the IL.
Autographs out of it. And let's not curse Giancarlo Stanton. I don't believe in karma, but we're gonna not have Giancarlo on the
I'm just saying, Luke Voigt, if he sticks around,
he'll be there. Oh, you'll see plenty of Luke Voigt.
Like
he'll be there.
It's pretty cool. Like I would be the guy announcing those guys as they're doing their rehabs. Aaron Judge when he strains his oblique twice. You know, like these are kind of cool things. So we'll see if that pans out. I don't know how many people I'm going against. Maybe it's a one-man show. Maybe they're just bringing me in to make sure I'm competent still. Once upon a time I did work for these guys already as the on-field host. I don't know. That's a very hokey like. When I got that job, I was really excited, but then they're like, okay, you're going to be announcing the mascot race on the field with a mic. And I'm like,
it's different. It's different. Yeah. You have to
you bring the energy.
Have to bring a different type of energy. It's almost like you are an extension of the mascot.
Correct. And yeah, basically. And they're throw it down to our on-field host, Dave. And I'm like, hey, and like, it's cool because it gave me the animation of like a professional wrestling ring announcer where I can just kind of like, go nuts. But this one's a little different. This is the PA announcer. This is the Bob Shepard.
This is a little more in your wheelhouse.
I think so. Yeah. I will find out. Well, it is what it is. Let's go into the lineage conversation, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's.
So last night we brought up this thing. It wasn't a hard. It was only a basic tweet saying that it fell on Romo Day. And Romo Day to me is the day that Romo stepped aside and said, like, Dak Prescott's our quarterback. He needs to be the guy. This happened 5 years ago yesterday, right? So I said, it gave us Dak Prescott. It gave us the ability to learn about Dak and see how good he was. So all I said was I think the Dallas Cowboys had the best lineage of all time and all NFL franchises, meaning, and here's the clarification. I'm not saying Dak Prescott or Tony Romo or even Troy Aikman were better than the other quarterbacks that we talked about. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the Dallas Cowboys went from 4 in a row of not having to worry about finding the quarterback. Well, actually, after Aikman left, it was a miserable,
I'm
couple
glad
years.
you made my point for me, because I think what we ended up doing in this conversation was, at least me, was we fell into the argument of what we are actually using to interpret the word lineage, because I think that's what it came down to, the loose interpretation of that word, because it really doesn't have anything to do with football. You know, it's like if you give birth to your son and he is a cop, you were a cop, your grandfather was a cop, you know, and then his son's a fireman, he breaks the lineage. So the way I saw it was Quincy Carter, Drew Bledsoe, Vinny Testaverde, they broke the lineage to a degree, and as far as my interpretation of how we're loosely using the word lineage here. And then we could debate on what actually constitutes a quality quarterback, because they were hitting me with Don Meredith, the Danny Whites, and I felt like that was weakening your actual argument.
That was. I was saying I was happy with 3, and then give me Dak as the 4th, right? So like we have a 4-core quarterback history, let's say. I don't know what Dak's going to do in the rest of his career. He's got probably 15 years left. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? But like Romo was there for a decade, right? Aikman was there for a decade. Staubach was there for like 2 decades, it felt like, you know? So that's what I'm talking about. Like longevity, franchise quarterbacks that you actually could rely on as your starter and never had to go into a season saying, man, who's going to start this year? You always had that guy.
This is going less heated than I was hoping to a degree, because I have good stats to shred the Cowboys.
You can shred them all you want.
I'm not going to actually shred the Cowboys. It was more or less, I'm using the Cowboys versus the Packers in a situation to just lay out why I think that this isn't really a debate. I understand your side of it. And as a Cowboys fan, you should feel that way, because it's not like Dallas is putting out bum quarterbacks. If you look at their history since the 1960, right?
1960, yeah.
Don Meredith, good quarterback. Danny White, really good quarterback.
Gary Hogaboom, terrible quarterback.
But like the Staubach, the Dak, the Romo, Aikman, like clearly over the history, there's only about 10 to 12 guys that have been an opening season starter. Now, my thing is, if you look from 1960 on, about how many seasons would you say the Cowboys went into the season with a better quarterback than the Packers? Because from 1960 until when Staubach started, it was the Packers. Then Staubach came to the Cowboys. Then you can start making the case. It's like, okay, Barkstar, Staubach. It's like Staubach probably passed them, right? So then it's like, all right, maybe a little bit.
And then it shifted again. It was transferred over to Aikman. Aikman comes in 89, goes 1-15. People are like, I don't know about this. Then he wins all those Super Bowls.
Even 89, and I looked at this. 89 was Aikman's rookie year. He did bad. Don McCaskey was good. 10-6 that year for the Packers. Like that was so like technically
now we're going
Packers.
Now we're going Aikman Mikowski.
But technically that I'm just making a point.
Yeah, no,
season by season, I think once Favre took the helm in 92, 93, I think Favre clearly passed Aikman.
Favre passed Aikman. I wouldn't say right away. I would say about 96 when he won a Super Bowl.
No, but he won MVP 2 years in a row before that. So
Favre.
that was,
yeah.
So
you're right.
So it's like Favre was there. He was just the reason why they couldn't get past the Dallas hump. I remember I had it on my wall. 34-25 or something, never again, or 11-point shot. My dad wrote it down, and we won the Super Bowl the next year. But it was one of those situations we needed to get over the hump. But I felt Brett Favre was better.
Of course, yeah.
And then since then, I think it's been clear.
Yes,
Green Bay has had the better quarterback.
Fine,
but that doesn't mean that Dallas doesn't have a better lineage if we're using the loose interpretation of the word.
Okay, fine. But
we'll
Dina, actually, the pick bitch coming in saying it. Isn't it much easier to get that full thought out without Jimmy there?
Oh my goodness, bro. That was beautiful.
That was a nice little.
Thank you.
That was a nice
allowing me
friendship there. That was working.
To get that off my chest.
Yeah. So the lineage, we can actually debate that forever with every position, and maybe we will, because it really did pick up a lot of traction. The only thing I'll say is that, please, for the love of God, anybody who brought Jeff Garcia's name into this, you need to just go, as Ray would say, have a seat, because that is the most moronic thing I ever heard. Was Garcia good and serviceable for the Niners in the years that he was there? Yes. Jeff Garcia played 12 years. He played 5 with the Niners. So for 7 years, he's traveling the country.
Yeah, he was Detroit, Philly, Cleveland.
He was all over the place. Oakland, maybe. Maybe Oakland. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Jeff Garcia shouldn't be in that conversation when you're talking about Montana and Steve Young.
think Jeff Garcia was a good quarterback. I do think that he was better than people give him credit for, but he does not belong in this conversation. Agreed.
Well, here's another thing that I do agree with. 2014, Romo was better than Rodgers, and that's from Kyle Kerbs. That was the Dez caught it year, and obviously he caught it. Other people could debate this. I'm not going to get back into that debate.
I'm not going to at you because you asked me now to, but
2014 Cowboys team was pretty goddamn lights out. And they were right there, and they were a weird call. I'll say weird call, not bad call, weird call away from the Dallas Cowboys going to the NFC Championship that year for the first time since 1995. But anyway, so that's a lineage.
Yeah, but you guys forget that Rodgers had like 2:30 left on the clock after that play. Clearly was going to drive right downfield.
I mean, that's the thing. And
don't at me.
You know what's funny? Keith Ernst, my co-host on Jersey Boys, says the one scenario he doesn't want in the playoffs for this year, because look, I'm not overconfident.
Is a lead over the Packers with 2 minutes to go.
Not only that, he doesn't want it in Dallas. He would rather it in Green Bay. He's like, every time Rodgers comes to Dallas, he literally implodes the stadium. And I was like, I'm with it.
I agree. Aaron Rodgers definitely has a good
he won the damn Super Bowl.
He has a nice career.
With who? Who is their coach by any chance? I'm just curious.
Oh God, don't get me started. It was Mike
McCarthy.
You know how I delete my memories all the time?
Oh, you deleted them?
No. I save those because it's like from 2011 on. It's me. Even when they win the Super Bowl, I'm like, in spite of. I've never had a good word to say about McCarthy through it all. So
the lineage conversation can continue to grow, and I like it a lot. But there was something that you brought up yesterday that was relatively funny to me. I was like, there's no way. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Jimmy was sitting there thinking you had 14 heads. Like, and then it comes out that you decided to, where was I? I was at the gym, and I was already raw, and all of a sudden I get this thing like, see, told you. And Gooch has a way, and if you don't know Gooch for who he is outside the show, Gooch has a way to say nothing, but just give it to you. And it's like, oh, damn, I was wrong again. And Gooch is like, I was right again. So 90-day window, it's a thing. So if you test positive for COVID in the NFL protocols, or I guess you said in the world.
In the world. This is
because this happened to you.
This is universally recognized by, I don't even want to quote the CDC because
Uncle Fauci?
But Dr. Fauci / Jimmy Palumbo / Big Bird, all right, all agree to this. So if you don't want to get your health and wellness advice from me or Aaron Rodgers, the Zen master himself, then you could go to Jimmy Palumbo / Big Bird / Dr. Fauci, and you could find out for sure that after you test positive for COVID, there is a 90-day window of invincibility. I say that because obviously now Aaron Rodgers is positive for COVID. I'm going to explain why.
Go ahead, please.
Because your immunization is he's even more immune than he was after he was immunized, because now he had COVID. Your immunization is like nearly impossible for you to re-catch COVID.
You get the chicken pox, you don't have to worry about getting the chicken pox.
Let alone 90 days. And the propensity and the likelihood of a false positive after having COVID is increased dramatically, somewhere upwards of around like 50%. Don't quote me on that. You can fucking quote Fauci, though.
We're getting crushed here.
Right? So because of that fact and the immunization aspect of it, they would have a bunch of players that are testing positive, even though they don't have COVID, and then they will be losing guys. So essentially what happens is, even if I test positive for COVID, right? And then a month later, I'm like, I don't feel good. They're not going to test me for COVID again. They're going to be like, even if you test positive, it might be a false positive.
Fine. COVID aside, whatever. But do you know when that 90-day window expires by any chance? Because I do. NFC Championship weekend.
That's fine. That's fine.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I absolutely can imagine. I can imagine.
Oh my God. If you get to the NFC title game and all of a sudden Rodgers catches COVID and he's out, and it's Jordan Love in the NFC title game against the Dallas Cowboys. As long as it's against the
Cowboys, we'll probably be all right. But no, I mean, like, yes, I am excited that he doesn't have to test anymore. I feel like it's almost like a flex in a weird way to get it the fuck out of the way. Yeah. And now we have smooth sailing as far as Rodgers goes with COVID.
You know who doesn't
the NFC Championship?
You know who doesn't have smooth sailing, Gooch? Do you have any chance to know who doesn't have? And that's the Los Angeles Rams. They do not have smooth sailing. Hollywood just blew up because the San Francisco 49ers take out the Rams 31-10. Now, this game in itself was, to me, it was very poetic and very just, it made me feel good inside to know that Beckham was targeted on that first pick by Matt Stafford. Like, almost like, we got to get him the ball first just to get it out the way. Let's get it out of our system. He sails it. And one has to wonder, Did he run the wrong route? Did he give up the wrong route? Did he just stop running because that
All-
ball was a punt?
All three.
All three. All three.
He ran the wrong route, and then he realized he ran the wrong route, and he just
And then he
gave
saw the
up.
ball like this.
I'll tell you what, though, he did have a nice hit. He did.
He popped him.
He
Yes.
did lay him the fuck out.
That was the Cleveland frustration coming out of him, I think.
Did you hear his comments before the game? How he was saying like the whole situation was weird to me. He didn't want to leave Cleveland. Part of me believes what he's saying because there was a lot of weird shit surrounding that where they just like they.
You think it was a Baker thing?
I think that I think it was the Cleveland Browns didn't want Odell. I think that's what it really was. I don't think that they were appeasing him by any stretch. I don't think that he was like, I need out of here.
Right.
I think they sent him home a couple times and they basically said, no, he's not with us anymore. There's something happened behind closed doors that I'm sure will eventually come out. I'm
In
very
his book
interested.
or when he sits down at the barber shop or something like that.
Yeah, like after he gets cut and forfeits all this NFL money.
Did you
because
see
he's
the
not
memes
good.
already asking that he's demanding trade?
Bro, unbelievable.
It's
it was the
amazing.
meme, him sitting there with his hands that football players do on their shoulder
Yeah.
pads when they're disgusted with something.
Yeah.
And he's standing next to Stafford, and he's like, "Bro, I thought you were better than Baker." Right? And then there was another one. He's saying,
That's
"Yo,
great.
yo, Matt, you got an Instagram? My dad wants to tag you in something." That shit was the best one that I saw.
It is funny. There he was running open again. They used him in certain packages, and again, I'll beat this over the head until you guys actually listen to me. Stop watch if available. Stop watching the broadcast and go over to
I know
Eli.
I'm in the minority on this, but I find it hard.
Oh my God. Especially here's the thing. And I was talking to Evan last night, who is a 49er fan. He goes, I can't watch Peyton and Eli when my team is on, but I'll watch it every other time. And I'm like, I totally get that. You want to hear the crowd and the noise and the analysis and whatever.
I find that I don't watch the game when I'm watching that, and I'm watching to watch the game.
But
And
here's
it's
the
like,
thing: like when it's one game, being that it's Monday Night Football, and you see it, it's almost like picture in picture. Like you're watching a sitcom and a game at the same time.
I might do, and what I think everyone's going to start to do is in the new world of streaming is just stream the Peyton thing and put the volume on, leave it off to the side, lower Louis Riddick and Steve Levy. Is that his name, Steve Levy?
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you.
I like Steve Levy though.
I'm going to ruin it for you. Right now.
Here we go.
He's a mixture between Jimmy Kimmel and Jon Stewart.
Oh, then I don't like Jim. I don't like
I'm
Steve.
just like
Levy
I can't
anymore.
unsee that.
Steve Riddick and Greasy are awful, and
Terrible.
I said it last week. You can't tell who's who. Like honestly, they both.
I mean, I can.
Dude, every time they talk, I'm like, who just? Said
I just
that?
hate Louis Riddick more than anybody in.
There's
in
no
media.
credibility to me.
He's not good. He
You know
played
what
for
I'm
the
saying?
Lions,
That's
and you
what
like
I'm
were
saying.
you were a lion, and then you were like a front office lion.
Yeah, like where?
Shut up.
Right? Like where do I think like I'm turning on ESPN and I see Louis Riddick? I'm like, you know what? I should listen to that guy. I should definitely listen to that guy. No, you don't listen to that guy. And Greasy's a fine commentator, but like again, they don't do it for me. So that's why the Manning cast is so much better to me when the game isn't something that you're really focused on. Clearly, when they did the Cowboy game, I was in Texas, so like I didn't hear it at all. So like it didn't matter to me. But Evan, my boy, our boy Evan has a point where I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. There's no way I could watch a Monday Night Football game with my team playing. Like that's out of the realm. But again, you learn a lot from those guys, especially if you're, tell you what, Phil Mickelson, Jesus Christ. Oh, you didn't watch it, but Phil Mickelson was on. Guy knows his shit. I didn't know. Like, and then they showed
I think it's hard. It's not necessarily hard for me to believe, but I don't think it's that surprising to me that athletes follow other sports. Other people are like,
well,
wow,
Draymond
Phil
was on.
Mickelson
I don't
really
like
knows-
Draymond until I listened to that.
Yeah,
and
like
I'm
these
like,
guys.
wow,
These
he's
guys
actually
are
not
fucking sports fans.
he's not a
you
piece
know?
of shit.
Yeah,
Like he's got his own podcast
like they
coming out.
Draymond Green was probably a dominant high school football player.
Well,
when
they
you
actually
think about
showed a clip. I believe he played tight end.
Yeah, I mean,
And well, yeah. So anyway, he like jumps like somebody dug up the clip and it's like the worst false start you've ever seen. Like it was just like, and they ripped him on it. Phil Mickelson said that Eli Manning was his golf swing was cute, which was hilarious. Again, great. I think it's entertaining. A lot of people that might not like.
I think that
an acquired taste.
the good thing about it is that you get the clip ups for the next day. You get quotes and things like that. So I think that for me, I could watch that on social media just the same as me watching it live.
Kyle's
I'll get
about
all the highlights.
Kyle's about to lose all credibility. Scoop said, when was the last time they had a good Monday Night Crew? And Kyle responds, Scoop, Booger McFarland and Witten were pretty sharp.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's joking, but it's like they were the word. I'll never forget.
Honestly, my best Monday Night Crew is the original one that I was born into, the Deerdorf, Al Michaels,
Yes.
and
100%.
that wasn't even that
Did you
great
like when
either.
they brought in Dennis Miller?
Honestly, it was pretty good. Yeah,
It was pretty good.
I didn't love it, but I
didn't know shit,
but
he was
I
like,
simply don't like anyone else since. So
yeah,
I'm not going to argue against the Dennis.
Oh
Miller
man,
one.
when Witten was there, that was so defeating, and his hairpiece, and it was just like, oh, it was so bad. And like Witten is my guy, and he's like, I almost named my son Witten.
It's hard when there's a guy that you really respect, and then it's hard when he's like not good at something, and you're like, fuck, man.
When he tried to pronounce Ebicon, that was his name. He was like, and there's pursued by Ebicuri. I'm like, holy
sounds
shit.
like Emmitt Smith when he was doing Sunday Countdown. He was trying to explain what penalties were, and he couldn't even say the word penalties. He was like, out in the NFC West, and then he just named the teams. I was like, oh, it sounds like me on my first Yankee podcast. I just was like, oh, in left field we got Gardner, and center we got. I just named the players, and everyone was like, wow, you really prepared for this.
Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, dude, that was fucking
That was like
great.
episode 1.
It was our first YouTube show.
It was our first YouTube show. Yeah. People were just roasting you. Like, yeah, nice preparation for this one, Gooch. Good job.
Funny.
Oh, look how far we've come. But anyway, so the game itself, right? The San Francisco 49ers ran the ball down their throats. Mitchell's good. They got their one kid back. I forget his name now off the top of my head. He just came back off the IR. Wilson, he was good. Bro, but I have to give credit, and I don't like doing this because I don't think he's that good, but Jimmy G was lacing him in there. The windows for him to throw were like, bro, minuscule. Like, how did you get that in there? Pause. But like, heard that. But honestly, like, it was great. It was great. And so much so, my dad picked him up in fantasy for next week.
Yeah, well,
because he
picked tickets there.
Yeah,
Mr. Sturgeon.
I think he plays the Jaguars, so that's why he did it. So that's why it was a thing.
But look, I'll tell you what the story was with that game. In the first opening drive, they had 15, 16 plays, and 12 of them were runs.
Bro, the first quarter lasted 8 minutes.
Yeah, and the 49ers completely controlled the ball. And then when I saw the 49ers come out on defense, I missed the opening drive. I know the Rams went maybe 3 and out. The Rams went 3 and out all fucking night.
Dude, Stafford looked like Stafford,
of
old.
Yeah, he looked
no offense to him and his playing style, but he didn't look that
He
good.
didn't look great. The 49ers brought a physical defense yesterday. Like, they brought it. The front 7, I wouldn't say the front 4, but the front 7 really fucking balled out. Warner showed up.
So goddamn good.
And their secondary looked the best that it's looked to me since the beginning of the season. Like, there hasn't been a game that they played that well.
Yeah.
And Shanahan's got McVay's number, 5-0 in the last 5 meetings.
I didn't even realize that.
Going into the game, I know that the Sauce and AJ were high on the Rams because I was following their tweets. I didn't fade the Sauce yesterday, but I must admit, once I saw that the Sauce picked the Rams.
We both picked the Niners.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't fade the Sauce. I didn't know the Sauce was picking the Rams is what I'm getting at. But I was a little nervous after the fact when I was like, oh, shit. The Sauce is on the Rams. But then I saw the Sauce's post afterwards. He says, I was sharp all weekend, and I fucking went with the public.
Crushed it
on Monday.
Did you see that post?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. I mean,
and
I know nobody's gonna actually he won't admit this.
Stay sharp, Sauce.
Yeah, I won't. I know he won't admit this. Maybe in private he will, but I'm very curious to know what a unit is to him. Like when AJ was doing his best.
I think I know his units. He's very transparent, and we'll talk after.
Yeah, because I'm curious because when you see those up 1.9 units, I'm thinking like. Is he up $19? Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But it's not that. It's not that. So if you listen, I don't condone getting into this world of gambling, but if you're gonna do that, listen to the Sauce. The guy knows what he's talking. He's got a gift. And people have actually confined in him to make some dough. And look, you're not gonna win them all, right? You're not gonna win them all.
It's betting. And the thing about betting is you take information from various places and you funnel it into your own information, and then you come away with it's your money.
Right.
You can't blame somebody else for losing a bet, but you could definitely thank them for winning one.
Exactly. So good job on that regard. Good job to anybody who picked the 49ers. I know me and Gooch did to round out my bad week. You had a really good week, decent week as far as your picks are concerned. But just like that, folks, we're on to week 11, starting literally today with all your fantasy waiver wire stuff. We don't have any fantasy stuff because if you're at this point right now,
we might have something for tomorrow. I haven't done it in a couple weeks.
But I'm just saying, 11 weeks in to fantasy, if you're still scrambling to put starters in your lineup because your starters stink, then you drafted poorly. That's just your thing. Right now, I'm standing pretty good in 2 leagues and in the Chop League. By the way, 16-man leagues, if you're listening, it's over after this year. So if you want to claim that shit this year and win the big pot, that's great. But we're never doing this shit again because 16-man leagues are awful. They're just awful.
Bad.
Yeah, dude, I lost my 2 running backs, and then you go to the free agent pool, and it's like, oh, Okay, so I'm getting the third running back of this team and the fourth running back. Like, it is bad. Never again. Never again.
I haven't broke 100 and
so I'm saying I scored 65 points last night.
Brutal.
You know who beat my ass last night? Freaking LaCorey. Just took me to town, beat the brakes off me. So congratulations, Joe, on your fantasy football win. But anyway, let's take a break. The 49ers get to 4-5. Now, before I go to break, actually, I do want to ask you this, because Evan said last night after the Niners won, he goes, we're a half game out, right? And I was like, of what? You know, like I'm thinking like 4-5, where are you a half game out of? They're actually a half game out of the wild card. Do you think the Niners have enough if they go with this recipe, which I know the recipe beat the Rams, and I said this yesterday on the podcast, the Rams' run defense was no good. No matter, it's great you have Von Miller. It's great you have Donald. That's great, but their run defense collectively is still no good. The 49ers figured that out. They played to their strength, which is great. Can the Niners continue to do this, like going forward?
Can they? Yeah, but will they? I don't think so. I think the 49ers, obviously, I talked about how I don't think the Seahawks are dead yet. I don't think the 49ers are dead yet. Going into the season, the 49ers were picked by a lot of people to be a playoff team. Right. I think in the second half, it kind of lends to their style as far as the cold weather, play defense, put pressure on the quarterback, run the ball, play action. The 49ers are only going to win that way. They're really not going to do it any other way than that. That's their recipe. If you could come in there and get some 3 and outs, force a 3rd and long, get the ball back, score twice early, the 49ers are going to really struggle in games to come back. So I don't know about it going forward. The 49ers are going to be a tough out, though. They're not going to just lay down for teams. Obviously, they're well coached. I don't believe that the 49ers are going to get to the next level,
well coached, and the stuff I was hearing on ESPN from Steve Young was that like Shanahan's really got to turn it up. Like he does. Is he a one-trick pony? And by one-trick pony, I mean get to that Super Bowl, right? But before that and after that, he's been kind of shit.
But look, Shanahan gets fired by the 49ers. He gets hired immediately by another team.
So by the New York Jets.
He is a very good coach. And look, his personnel isn't heading up. They dealt with a lot of injuries. The quarterback situation is a little bit grim, very inconsistent. Jimmy G's always hurt. Kittle's been hurt all year. That was actually did you see the play that Kittle flattened Von Miller, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Kittle's a dog.
Kittle being out there.
Kittle's going to go into pro wrestling as soon as his career is over.
Kittle being fully healthy really changes the way that team could play, because he's great in his run blocking. Obviously, he's the best in the league. But I still don't believe the 49ers have what it takes going forward. While I do think they are well coached, I think that their personnel doesn't add up.
You bring up coaching. This isn't on the rundown because I heard it on the way home yesterday and more on the way back yesterday. Did you hear about the Rex Ryan and Saleh stuff?
No, but Rex Ryan's just
Rex Ryan needs to shut his fat mouth, because it's just like it's annoying at this point. But literally, Robert Saleh goes, he knows where to find me. Like, bro, Saleh's ready to square the frig up with Rex Ryan. I would love somebody to flatten that guy and then give him a snack afterwards. But it's a great little rivalry, because look, Robert Saleh, like the way you judge him on this first year is if this team keeps the fight alive, right? If they get the doors blown off them again in any coming
nobody
weeks,
was going in expecting the Jets to win many football games.
No, I know.
They already have 2. That's a win as far as Saleh's first half goes.
Listen, as Jets fans out there, if you want optimism, you better get yourselves a win this weekend, because here come the Miami Dolphins, and all of a sudden you're like, you better win this game, and Zach Wilson better be under center. But whatever, I digress.
Or if you lose the game, you get a better draft.
I mean, they're not trying to do that. Really. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got a little bit of a discussion on the Rookie of the Year. Jamar Chase was literally running away with it. We got somebody that might just be, kind of contested for it. We'll get right back after this.
Myself and Gooch are both getting a little older, and one of the first things to go is your vision. Thank goodness for our hookup over at Absolute Eyewear in Woodbridge, New Jersey, right on Main Street next to the train station. They have glasses for all ages, all budgets. They have safety glasses, sports glasses. They are a full-service powerhouse offering eye exams and even free lenses for the kids. They work with BCBS, AAA, AARP, giving massive discounts. They're open 5 days a week, closed on Wednesdays and Sundays. Call 732-326-3937 to get your first pair of Ray-Ban, Burberry, Coach, Polo, you name it, they got it. Go see Craig and Johnine right now.
And we are back as Gooch comes sliding in like Jimmy Palumbo yesterday, by the way. You can get a free gift at Chop Sports Media on Twitter. I shared it out this morning. Go check it out. It's a free gift. Use it however you want. Scoop Espo chimed in about the coaching situation. He goes, I'd like Rex to fight Urban Meyer and then take Rex as a coach. I think those days are done. I don't see Rex Ryan's coaching days are
money
over
right now. There's no need. Maybe he might one day.
Actually, you were just compared to Chris Collinsworth on the slide in, because that is one of the most legendary things going right now, is the Chris Collinsworth, coming in like, here's a guy.
Well, Scoop, Thursday, me and you gonna fight because I hate Chris Collinsworth. So
and his son bothers me too. His son sounds just like him. It's almost as if his son sounds like somebody's doing an impersonation of Chris Collinsworth. That's what it sounds like. And it's no,
I'm proud to say that I've never heard him, unless I don't know that I have.
He's on the pregame every week.
Oh, then maybe I have.
He's definitely on the sidelines. But anyway, so rookie of the year. Okay. Jamar Chase was literally just leaps and bounds better than everybody. He was running away with it literally and figuratively, right? Now, all of a sudden, the Mac Daddy has something to say about that. Mac Jones of the I almost said the Somerset Patriots, the New England Patriots, is starting to give him a run for his money. So if the season ended right now, 10 weeks in, which means 9 or 10 games in, Mac Jones win this thing, or does he have to do a couple more heroic acts that he's been doing? If the season ended
right now, probably not, but he's definitely tightening up that race. I think, I don't have the odds in front of me, and I'm not even going to pull them up because we're already mid talking about it. If somebody could pull up the rookie of the year odds, Scoop, or maybe Kyle.
I know Fogg's in here today.
Let me know the odds on Mac Jones, and let me know the odds on on Jamar Chase. But look, last year, it takes a lot for a wide receiver to win rookie of the year when there's a quarterback in the mix. We saw that last year.
Correct.
Justin Jefferson broke the rookie record for receiving yards. He only had 7 touchdowns. That probably hurt his case a little bit.
That's pretty good for a rookie season.
But Jamar Chase, I think, has 7 right now.
Correct.
Right? So, and he's on pace to break the yardage total. So Jamar Chase is clearly on his way. But if you look at what's happening in Cincinnati right now, they're kind of trending down, and the Patriots are definitely trending up. When you have a quarterback that wins games down the stretch and really puts the team on his back, because that's what he did last week. I know the offensive line and the defense are playing well, but he's dropping dimes in there. And when quarterbacks win, quarterbacks get the awards. And that's just simply the case.
So the updated odds right now, as it stands 10 weeks in, Chase with plus 110, Mac Jones plus 125, big drop off, Najee Harris plus 1,000. So this is a 2-man race right now.
So basically what's going on right here is
thank you, Scoop,
Mac
for that.
Jones closed the gap drastically. I know Mac Jones going into the year was a solid bet. Like, it was one of those things. It's like he's a starting quarterback in the NFL for the Patriots. They don't really have many weapons, but for some reason there was just this feeling.
Well, here's the thing. You said it. Like, he's the starting quarterback of the Patriots. Like, the Patriots were billed as an okay team. If all of a sudden the Patriots overachieve,
have a quarterback.
No, if they overachieve, why is that? Because Mac Jones played it out of his mind.
Bill Belichick. But at the same time, though, when we're talking about it, look at the numbers. They're on par with what Justin Herbert's were last year, midway point. I understand that there's an extra game this year. I think Herbert's numbers will be better, but I also fully believe that the Patriots are a playoff team. I don't think the Chargers made the postseason last year. So you get what I'm saying? Like, a postseason berth by a rookie quarterback, I feel like that's a guarantee.
Very true. But the Bengals could make the playoffs. I mean,
Ashley's friend's boyfriend, Jimmy, I'm gonna give him a shout out.
Okay.
Did place a bet. And on this Halloween party that I went as Disco Ken, he was like, "Oh, I got Mac Jones. I placed a bet on Mac Jones."
What were the odds going in?
I forget what he said, but it was nice. It was a nice payout. I think it was plus like 800 or something like that, maybe even more. So he made the bet, and I remember both of us looking at each other and being like, "But it's a shot bet because Jamar Chase is running away with it." Just 2 weeks later, and the odds have completely shifted. So I think right now my bet is on Mac Jones. It's not a big enough payout for me to put money on it.
Yeah, we appreciate Scott Simmons trying to look up the gambling odds, but he cannot look up anything gambling related while he's in school prison. So that's a thing. Actually, you know what? You can't look up anything gambling related when you're in the hospital either, because I tried. And
really?
It wouldn't let you. Like, you were on their Wi-Fi, and they're like, nope, no gambling. Couldn't watch porn. Couldn't do anything.
Tidbit. Next time, close the Wi-Fi out and just use your data.
Well, that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did when I decided, like, let's put money on the Jets against the Colts, right? That'll work. But anyway, yeah, so can't do that. But anyway, yeah, so the race is on, and I think it's going to be a lot closer as we go, and the teams and themselves are going to dictate this shit. You know what I mean? Like, if the Patriots keep doing what they're doing, Mac Jones's case is going to be a lot stronger than the falling and reeling Bengals.
Yeah.
I know it shouldn't have that much of an impact because of the teams, but
I think
call it how it is.
When we're talking about a quarterback,
if the Bengals are doing no good, that means Chase is kind of sucking.
A quarterback, the most important stat for a quarterback is judged by wins, more so than anything, more so than any other position. So if a quarterback is on a playoff team, rookie turns it around from a abysmal season the year before, you got to go with the quarterback.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Scoop. He said I dropped the Wi-Fi, so that's what I could do to look at porn in the hospital. You sick son of a bitch. But anyway, I will bring this up, Scoop, and all of you people out there who have been following the show for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. Well, just as far as Sauna Guy was debuted into the show last night on the broadcast, on the Manning cast, Philip Rivers was a guest, and he started talking all sorts of shit, right? Like fun stuff, will he come back, blah, 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 and it was just kind of weird. Like there was a weird tension, like Rivers and Eli Manning were on the same cast, and they're just like kind of like looking at each other like, I remember that whole your daddy came in, but they never mentioned it really. They just said they were linked together. But Philip Rivers said, I got to mention a story because he was talking about how he has the coach's bod now, like he's not playing anymore. So he flabbed on a little bit, kind of looks like Scoop, you know what I mean? Like just a little on the heavier side. By the way, Scoop said, in order for you to fight him, you have to go up to 215.
That's not how things work, right? You have to make weight, Scoop. I'm at fighting weight right now.
First of all, this is a great comment, and I made that up. First of all, wait. Why is Scoop the sick one when you knew you couldn't watch porn on the Wi-Fi? Very good point. Bravo to you. But it was just I don't know. I don't know if you can or cannot. Actually, I do know. You know why I know that? This is truth be told. When I tried to gamble, it said on the little disclaimer, you cannot watch anything that involves like sports gambling, sexual something, and something else. It was like a disclaimer. And I was like, F that, turn off the Wi-Fi, give me what I want, Pornhub. But no, but seriously, which is hilarious, by the way. That's so funny. But I was trying to talk about Philip Rivers, and he's saying, I got the coach's bod now. I'm not playing anymore, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'll never forget. It was me and somebody else sitting in the sauna, right? And we're talking, we're having a great conversation. I'm sitting here, I'm like, see? It's not that weird. Like, it's not that weird. He was talking about, like,
here's the thing.
Lorenzo Neal was
so he was sitting in the sauna with his teammate of 12 years, right? Not some guy that you're a stranger with and you see his balls once a week and you're like, well,
first of all, he's fully clothed. Second of all, he was talking about
wait.
What?
So now this is making the situation even more weird.
Why?
So like you go in the sauna fully clothed?
I'd probably take the shirt off sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
See, like I can't.
It's like right after my work. I don't go for the sauna. I go to
if I'm sauning, I'm like I would imagine.
No, if I go to like a spa, yeah, then I'll put a towel on,
some
right?
Shower shoes,
right?
That's it.
Fine, but not me. I just go in there after and I just kind of decompress after
but
the
sauna
workout.
guy's got his balls out.
Sauna guy. You're a sick son of a bitch, all of you. I go balls out, man, literally.
I saw Mayor McGreevy in the sauna when I was like 11.
Oh,
my buddy Joe.
Shit. Don't go.
It was actually a hot
careful.
I'm sitting. Now, this is a fact. This happened.
Okay.
I can say this because I was there.
Okay.
Right? It's me and my buddy Joe. I'm in like 7th grade, right? We're at the Club of Woodbridge.
I love it.
Right?
I love it
Mayor
already.
McGreevy, who is the mayor, future governor of New Jersey.
Straight at the time.
We all know the story well. That's loosely. You want to say straight at the time. It's me and my buddy Joe sitting in there, right? I think we were like trying to cut weight for wrestling or something like that. We're sitting in the sauna. We have our bathing suits on because that's what we're 7th grade. We're not going to get swinging in a sauna hot tub. And Mayor McGreevy walks up like he just threw out the first pitch at the Mayor's Trophy tournament a year ago for me and Joe,
right?
Traveling all-star baseball. And then he sits up. He's like, "Hey, I remember you guys." And he's in a towel. He walks up the steps. He walks up the steps and he drops his towel. And I turn to the right, and Mayor McGreevy's penis,
Sheboygan?
His all the way over there in Sheboygan was like probably about a foot from my head.
Oh wow!
Right? Me and Joe looked at each other across the
and
penis
said,
in between us.
Who's first?
And I just got up, bro. And that was it. The next thing I knew, he was the mayor or the governor. And then the next thing I knew, he was
in a scandal.
Yeah. So glad I didn't.
There's ties.
Glad I did not take part in that scandal.
Oh my God! Looks like damn Gooch. Lucky.
So shout out to McGreevy.
Oh my, Simmons over here. Did you just provide testimony to a federal crime?
I might have.
You kind of did.
Like he let me leave. He didn't lock the door. There was no.
You said the word like the phrase "he let me." I was like, oh shit, where's this going? But all right. So shout out to Mayor McGreevy and all your glory. Or Governor McGreevy, whatever the hell his highest rank was, and then he just stepped down and said, "Listen, I hate to break it to you guys, I'm a piece of shit," and I whipped my dick out in front of 7th graders back in 20.
Bro,
this show is taking a turn. We got one more sports thing to cover, at least, and it's your boy Coach K. Coach K going out with a bang. He's obviously on his little revenge tour. Dina Simpson, what just happened here? I feel like some trauma just leaked out. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a venting therapy session after all. This is what I do to get my things out. Pause.
That's for the sauna.
Shit.
Save
All right,
that.
I gotta stop
Save
talking.
that for sauna,
Coach
guys.
K, huh? What a piece of shit. It's really not him, but I know you don't like him personally. So now this kind of adds to the case. Explain to me what happened again. There was some kind of their best player.
Their best player, the number one. I mean, he's potentially the number one pick in the draft. I don't know. I know that he's balling out right now. And
right.
Duke's got something with this kid, but there was a situation this morning that was made public where there was a DUI arrest involving Coach K's grandson, and then aiding and abetting a DUI arrest made on Poncho something. I forget his name, and it's
please tell me his name is Poncho.
It's something like that.
That's
it's
amazing.
Ponchero. Scoop, pick me up on the name. Thanks, buddy.
He said, "Don't worry. I'm sure Vinny and I will mention Coach K every Thursday night." I mean,
nice.
I think one of them's a Duke guy. I guess.
So my whole thing is this. Obviously, it's Coach K's last season. He's had pretty much. I wouldn't say he hasn't had controversy. I'd say that he's basically like the federal government, where any controversy he has gets slid under the rug. So Coach K has largely been squeaky clean throughout his career, and this isn't even his fault.
It's not.
I'm going to blame him
to do with
anyway.
him.
I call
just because of the lineage.
I call for Coach K's job. I'm calling for his job. He needs to be fired for this and also arrested and thrown into jail. Right?
First of all, the guy's name is Paulo Bonchero. So there you go. You were close with Poncho. You weren't close at all.
Not really, but wait, so there's a Mexican that plays for Duke?
Yeah. Holy shit. Oh man, Paula Poncho close enough. Very true. Listen, we provide you guys with the accuracy known as Poncho. So anyway, so the kid gets in trouble. There's a little bit of the grandson tried to hide.
I don't know
it.
the details. There's not many details that were released other than the fact that look, in a situation like this where
so bet the other team, whoever's playing Duke next, Coach K is all screwed up right now, right?
I mean,
so
like they're probably playing some bum ass, weak ass team out of conference schedule before they open with Kentucky. I feel like they got a cakewalk for a little bit, but I don't know any of that, so I have no clue. But as far as the player goes, I find it hard to really roast and drag the player for this one because A, he asked you were probably in a tough situation, but B, it's like the coach's grandson. So you're like, well, I don't want coach's grandson to get in trouble. Let me try and do what I can to get him out of it. Maybe they'll believe.
So who was driving?
I would imagine the coach's grandson.
So the grandson was driving with the player.
I don't know the details, but I know that there was 2 arrests made. One was for a DUI and one was for aiding and abetting.
Yikes.
And the player didn't get the aiding and abetting. Got the aiding and abetting. So
so then yeah.
as more details pour out, we'll maybe cover it a little bit more tomorrow. I'd love to cover any Duke controversy because fuck Duke. But
I don't know who's. I mean, Dina is all over the place. She's saying Pedro was driving. So I don't know. Is Pedro the grandson?
I think that she's just piling on with the Mexican joke at this point.
Possibly. But anyway, so that is your news, ladies and gentlemen. That is the stuff that has been going on in the sports world. And I know it's not I'm not saying it's a slow sports day because when it's Tuesday and it's football season, again, we started the show with some baseball stuff. That's going to start heating up. I'm interested to see just how aggressive
I think Eduardo Rodriguez signed as well somewhere. So
and the Yankees made it official that Luis Rojas will be our third base coach. So that other guy lost his job based off one bad send. He went.
Oh yeah,
he went full send and went full gone.
We got some action going tonight, as Kyle mentioned in the comments. Just slap the over on the Mac. That's my go-to. I don't really do the analytics on college football with like these conferences because I don't know enough. But I do know that every time I look, the over/under is like 96, and it hits.
He's got Ohio +7. I think they win. He's got 215 on the money line. 215, great number. That was my grandma's birthday. But anyway, so if you want to follow the sauce, go check that out. Go check out KyleKerms.com to go check out all his VIP picks. Join that shit. Telling you, you'll win some really good coin. Not all the time. Again, I can't condone that. I can't say and preach that like he's 100%. But from everything I read, and he's very transparent, he's winning. He's winning a lot. So go check him out. So for the entire network, Jimmy Palumbo, also very big episode that just dropped. We do have to promote the fact that he is performing in Carteret at the Carteret Performing Center, Performing Arts Center, and go check out catcharisingstar.com. Him, Mike Marino, a couple other guys are going to be on stage. But more importantly, his podcast just dropped today. He had New Jersey 101.5's I guess overnight guy. Like
no, 7 to 11. Steve Trevelise.
Trevelise, very cool
Jersey
dude.
Radio, you'll hear him. Monday
Yeah,
through
so
Friday.
if you like his the sound of his voice, he's on the Jimmy Palumbo show today. So there could be a little cross meeting between Chop Sports 101.5. That'd be pretty cool. And then obviously the Squeaky Bum Time guys, the soccer guys who we just talked about over the weekend. There was a lot of banter about USA beating up on Gooch's Mexicans, and so there's definitely banter
By the
on
way,
that.
I have full rights to Mexican.
You have
jokes
Mexicans
because
in
I
your
have
home.
Mexican family,
Or at least in your family.
Yeah, so
yes.
I'm married into Mexico.
He's got Mexican in his home. Just come on in, everybody. You all can live here. And that could be a thing. But yeah, so go check out those guys. Tomorrow, all about the Star. I brag a whole shit ton about the beating we just gave the Atlanta Falcons. So make sure you check out that. And then obviously the Jets are going to go on today. Listen, I mean, what can they say? John Sapanaro, Kim Cantoni, they're going to go over the Jets' latest debacle. The Mets are back. Lots to talk about there because they're looking for a new GM. They might have linked a new GM. They might have inked a new GM. There's a lot of
And
shit
they
going on.
definitely were fully expecting to get Syndergaard back.
Yes,
and
they were.
Did not,
They did not get Syndergaard back. He is now an Anaheim, Los Angeles Angel. Wow. Yeah. So
And the Steph Curry show resumes tonight.
So
against the Nets, where you got KD against Steph.
I like
That's a
that.
good one.
I'll stay up for that one. That one sounds like a plan. Evan made it very clear that I bash the Nets a lot on this podcast, and I feel like I just don't
No,
like.
I do. I don't like the Nets.
Well, I don't like the Nets. They're good. You know what I mean? Like they're a good team. They're winning games, and they have the best player in the world right now on their team. But again, great matchup tonight. Bet Steph Curry because he's playing out of his mind. So I'm not the sauce. Don't listen to me. And I had a really shitty week as far as my NFL picks. But yeah, I'm excited about that. What else? Anything else you got before we close this bad boy? I got the Patriots thing today, so yay me. Let's see if I can land that shit. That'd be pretty cool.
Do I got anything else? No, I don't.
All right, nothing there. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everybody. Go check out all the sports. Go check out shopsportsmedia.com. Follow us at Shop Sports Media on Twitter and follow Chris on Twitter because he needs you. He needs your backup because he went in last night to the Thunderdome known as Cowboys Nation and he got starched. But
no, I think I held
you
my
did.
own.
No, you did.
I
You
held
did a
my
couple.
own.
Yeah, you threw a couple nice right hooks. And
I don't think that people realize my subtleness of how brutal I could be in an argument without even trying.
When you have spare time today, go back and check the comments, right, that you've made. Go to their profile, see if they blocked you. I'm just curious to see how fickle of a group that you decided to pick a fight with. Well, no, they picked a fight
They
with
picked
you.
it with me.
They listen, they picked it with me, man. It wasn't me. All right, anyway, follow us, Chop Sports Media, chopsportsmedia.com. For Sturch, Gooch, it's been a Tuesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow on a hump day.
Good luck to my boy Dave
I was
on
like,
his
where are you
little
going with this?
audition. That's it.
Let's do it.